Hi. Well, it wouldn't be a YouTube panel if we didn't start the conversation with a video. And one of the things that I really love from this video is that it shows that there's so many U.S. Hispanic creators. All of these creators in the video, they're all based right here in the U.S., and they're all using their platforms, their voices to create trends and to reshape the narrative. And that's what we're going to chat with all of you today. We wish we could have this room full of YouTube creators, but we're so lucky to have 3 YouTube creators who are entertaining. They're using their voices to teach new skills, not only to the community, the Latino and the Hispanic community here in the United States, but all over the world. These 3 creators will tell you way more about them, but one of the things that I'm really, really proud is that there's diversity in culture all together. If you put them, in a spreadsheet, they all have close to 4.8 million subscribers on YouTube, just the 3 of them, and this is just a small representation. So we wanted to have a conversation about the ways and the approach that many YouTube creators are using and how they're using their voices to reshape their narratives. Again, there's so many, and I think we really want to make sure that all of you get to know them and really just, follow them, but also remember that there's so many Hispanics overall creating content, and it's very important because when you look at social media, not only on YouTube, the percentage of U.S. Hispanics and Hispanics all over the world that come online to watch media content continues to grow. So it's really, really important that the people on the other side on the screen creating the content feels very, it truly represents and mirrors the media ecosystem where we live today. So welcome. And I think we all have been talking about identity today, so we wanted to start with that. How do each of you think about and approach your Latino identity through the content that you post on YouTube and in other social media platforms?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that question. My name is Rosangel. I'm a singer-songwriter. And being a bilingual Latino artist, it's definitely very much intrinsic to who I am. I like to incorporate it within my content as organically as possible. And I don't necessarily approach it in a calculated manner. I believe that by being authentic with my subscribers, I have been able to accumulate a great number of followers, of subscribers, and more so, they feel like a community to me. So it is very important for me to express my Latinidad and be proud of my identity and who I am.
Hi, everyone. My name is Prieto. I come from Colombia, and I started my channel 7 years ago. My Latino identity kind of flows naturally with my content because it's not only about teaching how to speak English, but sharing experiences and obstacles and struggles. So what I'm trying to do is help to build that bridge between all cultures and, living in the United States. So it comes really naturally because it's about overcoming struggles and making an identity more visible.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Jorge Soto. Jorge Soto es en las redes, Horchata Soto, that's how they know me, por la bebida. And just the name alone is just my culture. So I'm Guatemalan, and my content is very comedic based, and I try to make it as relatable as possible, and I just, it's my roots. I was raised in a Hispanic household, mi mamá, que aquí está también. Un aplauso, ahí está. Sí, se para. Sí, aquí la traje y para que me apoye. Pero también, sí, los videos también los voy a mandar a las tías después de esto. Sí, es que la manera que hablo, la manera que me expreso es con mi cultura. It's my culture, Guatemalan, being raised in the East Coast as well. I use all of that, and just, it's just the way that I can express myself the best way possible.
And like I said before, you'll have so many people on the other side of the screen watching you, putting comments, and I'm thinking only of what you have on a platform like YouTube. And with that, I would imagine you'll feel that you have a big responsibility, right? Especially when you are the representatives of your own cultures, whether it's, Colombia and the countries where your families are from, or, the East Coast, New York, Miami, wherever you live. How do you think about the role that each of you play, and what do you think you're responsible for, especially when it comes to the importance of reshaping the narrative and debunking stereotypes that many people might have about our cultures?
With a platform like YouTube, I feel like us creators have that responsibility to represent la cultura as positively as possible. I see myself, as well as I hope these creators, as an integral part of shaping that narrative of Latinos online. It is very important for me to contribute positively to how we are portrayed, and more so with the languages. I like to incorporate Spanish and English within my music, within my content, and I feel like by doing so, I am bringing about more change on the platform. More bilingual speakers, viewers are now on YouTube because of creators that have been advocating for these different languages, that have been showing representation overall.
Well, as I said before, I see myself as a bridge builder. While I'm teaching English, I'm also trying to represent and maintain our values. That's why I like to teach through stories and challenges that we all have in this country. But it's really important for me to help Latinos get into new levels. When I started my channel 7 years ago, I did it for my friends. I never thought that I was going to be a YouTuber. I just didn't find enough content for them to learn in a way that it was entertaining for them. But also, I wanted for them to come here and live with me so we could build a life here in the States. I realized that speaking English is the best way for you to reach any dream you have in the States. Because Latinos, we are so smart. And I always say it's not about translating words, it's about translating your personality. And I came 7 years ago and I had only my savings. Today, I have my own business, and I see myself as an example of anything that you can accomplish if you really show your personality and your drive as a Latino in this country. As people did it before, without the same opportunities, and they accomplished so much. And we're a force to be reckoned with, especially when we speak a second language. So that's kind of the way I like to do it.
Yes, my goal is to inspire others and inspire a lot of people, because when I was growing up, I really never had somebody who looked like me on YouTube, who talked the way I did, who embraced certain aspects of their culture the way that I do now. And I really want to inspire the next generation of younger kids, younger audiences. And also, I don't want to say this is a stereotype, but when you think of Latino culture, it's just how it is. It's mainly Mexicano culture, not in a bad way at all. But there's so many amazing, beautiful countries as well, like Guatemala, El Salvador, in South America, Colombia. There's so many amazing other countries where I would just love to have other people embrace those roots as well and not want to fit into what is already seen in mainstream media, if that's what makes sense.
Wonderful. And just to continue in that same vein of stereotypes, because I feel we can spend hours talking about that. There's so many leaders here. I know you all get to spend a lot of time with brands and with organizations, both probably U.S. Hispanic and also from other parts of the world. But when it comes to leadership and when it comes to businesses, because a lot of people think that being a YouTuber or a content creator, it's very easy, and I have so much respect for each of you because it's a real business, and I think it's something that I personally in my role would love for everyone to know, especially there's so many little kids that want to be that next generation, and we want more of us on every platform, but it's also a real work. What advice or ask would you have for leaders in other organizations that might want to better understand how to better understand your businesses? Like, what's one thing, I wouldn't say a stereotype, but what's one thing that you wish our communities and probably even your families, if they don't fully understand that you are a business owner, what are the things that you would like to be better known for, or that businesses or our communities understood better of what it takes to be a YouTube creator or a content creator or an influencer?
Definitely. As a Latina online, I feel like we are held to a certain standard to appeal to mass audiences. And what I mean by that is, as someone that has been in the music industry for about 3-4 years now, I've been subject to opinions from typically male executives, male producers, that I have to fit a certain mold to fit a certain Latin audience. I have to have raunchy lyrics. I have to have this ideal body. And it at times really messes with your mental health. It has you questioning whether you want to continue to do this. But thanks to these platforms, thanks to my community that I've built online on YouTube, I want to break down that stereotype, those damaging, really scary views that people have about Latinas being spicy or having to have a certain personality online to appease to what people, their preconceived notion of who we are. We are so much more than that. We are intelligent, we are creative, we are business owners. A lot of us here have probably experienced this before. I know I'm not the only one. And I feel as if we see this shift, then we will all prosper as a community.
Well, for me, and to add to that, one of the things that I feel as Latinos, as immigrants, my case as an immigrant, is that you think that you're less if you don't sound like a native speaker when you speak English, for instance, and that you are not allowed to get the same opportunities just because you don't sound like a native speaker in America. I like to kind of like change that, and that's something that I always use in my videos, telling that it's not about changing your voice to sound like a native speaker, but sounding more clear when you speak English. I don't think you have to sound or look or be like anyone else to succeed in this country, as long as you work on yourself and you pursue your dream and you work for it. So I know we Latinos, we really know what struggle means. And when we see an opportunity, we go for it. So I like to shift that mentality that we're not able to adapt or we don't want to learn. Because when we're here, that's what we want to do. Maybe sometimes we don't see how to get there. And that's why I try to put out content for people to understand not only how to learn a language, but how to navigate this culture.
Yeah, very similar to what Andres said. If you see an opportunity, you take it. I feel like that's how a lot of us Latinos, that's where we reach very, very high potentials or very high achievements. When I was first starting on YouTube, I noticed the numbers growing, and I just saw that, oh, I can really make something out of this. And it is a lot of work, but mentally, I feel like that is something that I don't want to say a lot of people don't understand, but my family at least, hard work is perceived as physical labor. That's when you go out and landscaping, like there's so many things. But if you use that same work ethic and if you use that as mental brain power, that's a whole other, big achievement that you can perform as well. And I feel like us Latinos, we just have that in our roots. We just have that in our blood to work hard, to embrace ourselves. And me having that blood in me, I feel like that's one of the biggest ways that I've really found success on YouTube. And that's the way that I really want to inspire people, just to use that brain power and to use that work ethic.
I can relate to a lot of that, and I'm sure many of you can as well. It's just so powerful to know that, you know, even when you are an influencer, you still can truly be yourself, and you can still, you know, set boundaries, keep your authenticity, and really know what your values are, what's your identity, and making sure, and I'm sure, like, as you guys make sure that's what you show in your content and how you come across in your communities. I'm sure that's making a big impact on inspiring the next generation. And we have this one last question. Like I said at the beginning, you all have big followers. You have like huge communities. I know Horchata, you have 2.3 million subscribers on YouTube. And then Andres and Rosangel, you guys are very close to your 1 million mark, which is it's a huge milestone. So you all should be super proud, and I can't wait to see what else you guys do. And with that, again, so many people are watching you, and you guys just are huge influencers. What's one thing that you are all committed to? I mean, we're going to 2024, 2023, and then what's one thing that you are committed for, you know, whether it's uplifting our community, whether it's reaching back and uplifting others? Like, what's one thing that you're committed to using your voices in your platform, and things that you might want to do in the next year as it relates specifically to our U.S. Hispanic community?
So I'm definitely committed to further amplifying the voices of Latinas in my music and content creation. Next year, I am set to release a debut EP consisting of 8 songs, which I'm really excited about, fully Latin music in Spanish and English. So I've been working hard with that, and as a full-time college student as well, it's very stressful at times. Has taken a lot of time, but I believe I'm finally ready to release this body of work. And thanks to collaborators that I've met through YouTube, producers, Latin producers, songwriters, I have been collaborating with a lot of them for most of these songs. And so with that, I just want to demonstrate the unity that us Latin creatives have when it comes to sharing these bodies of work. And another thing would be just to support your local artists, your fellow Latin artists. It's very much needed, and we appreciate it so much. A simple share, a simple follow, subscribe would mean so much to each of us as creators as well. So by doing that and supporting more emerging Latin artists, I believe we would create a more diverse landscape.
Awesome. For me, I'm committed to create more bilingual content that not only teaches English, but celebrate our heritage. I think it's not only about learning, but also celebrating our journey process. And I think we only have 1 minute, so I'm gonna leave it for my friend here.
Oh man, all right. So my goals for next year, or like the way I want to amplify, is again creating more content, upscaling. También hacer un canal en español. Ese es mi sueño para el otro año. And just embrace my roots, just embrace my culture. El sueño también es comprar casa para mi mamá. Pero, a ver, está cara las casas ahorita mismo, pero, a ver, I don't know, we'll try. But it's just to keep on, just staying happy, staying motivated, just staying, is culture the word? But just make sure to embrace that as well, and just never forget who you are. That's my big goal for next year. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, everybody. I want one more dream for you all. Influencers of YouTube, of Google, of all of you that have a platform, make sure that you're intentional about educating the Latino community of the power of Latinos. It's time for Latinos to talk about the power of Latinos with Latinos. So use the data and become amplifiers and factivists. I want all of you, the next year, a room full of influencers that have been activating the platforms, sharing the data so that we can feel proud. Thank you so very much.